Gardner 104, Sutherland 98 star as Australia lay marker for knockouts. Australia 248 for 4. Gardner 104, Sutherland 98 beat England 244 for 9. Beaumont 78, Sutherland 3-60 by 6 wickets. Indomitable Australia were at it again, this time with an unbroken 180-run stand between Annabel Sutherland and Gardner, which dug them out of early trouble and put them back into top spot on the World Cup table with a 6-wicket win against England. It almost feels misguided to use the word trouble when it comes to an Australian side packed with so many gifted allrounders and boasting such depth that anyone, in their 11 can always get the job done. On Wednesday in Indore, where Australia lurched to 24 for 3 then 68 for 4, it was Sutherland and Gardner, who proved so dominant in their pursuit of 245 that they inadvertently turned the closing stages into a battle over who would reach a century first. Gardner did it, rocking back with intent to steer a Lauren Bell delivery to the boundary through deep third. She'd romped there from 69 balls, yet 3 dot balls followed to give Sutherland the strike, with 4 runs needed for victory and 5 for her ton. Sutherland attempted a 6 off Sophie Ecclestone and miscued high over cover where Heather Knight spilled the chance. Though she got back on strike with a 2, a subsequent single left her at the non-striker's end on 98, with Gardner hitting the winning boundary as Australia cruised to victory with 57 balls to spare. Both had played their part with the ball too in restricting England to 244 for 9. Sutherland claimed 3 wickets and Gardner 2, while leg spinner Alana King was instrumental in smothering England through the middle overs with a miserly 8-over spell. She yielded just 13 runs while claiming the big wicket of Nat Sciver-Brunt for just 7. King finished with 1 for 20 from 10. Tammy Beaumont found form with the bat but, without her half-century and a late charge by 7th wicket pair Alice Capsey and Charlie Dean, England would have been worse off than defending a total that still looked sub-par against a side as strong as Australia. So it proved as Australia, missing injured captain, wicket-keeper and in-form batter Alyssa Healy, consigned England to their first defeat of the tournament. After a best score of 32 from 5 innings at this World Cup, Beaumont stood up for England with 78, sharing a 55-run opening stand with Amy Jones. Capsey was the only member of England's struggling middle order to make a significant contribution with 38 off 32 balls, while Dean provided another helpful cameo from number 8, this time worth 26 from 27 as the pair put on 61 runs together. It looked briefly like their efforts might have been good enough when new ball duo Lauren Bell and Lindsay Smith sent Australia reeling. Bell's third ball was a gem which moved away from left-hander Phoebe Litchfield, whizzed past the outside edge and took out off stump. It was the first time in 33 ODI innings that Litchfield had been dismissed in the first over. Healy pursed her lips and shook her head in the dugout as she watched a replay of her batting replacement, Georgia Vall, bottom-edging a slog sweep off Smith onto off stump, losing her balance and toppling onto the ground into a backward somersault to complete the indignity. Smith claimed her second with a simple return catch off Elise Perry's leading edge as she backed away from a shorter delivery, while stand-in skipper Beth Mooney was left chewing her top lip after she spooned Sophie Ecclestone to mid-wicket, where Sciver-Brunt took a sharp catch dive rolling to her left. Sutherland looked scratchy early in her rescue mission, but she settled into a rhythm, moving into the 40s with a powerful slog sweep off Smith and clearing the covers off Dean for 4 to bring up her 50. She then skipped down the pitch to Bell and steered another boundary expertly between extra cover and mid-off. Gardner raised her half-century with a glorious pulled 4 off Sciver-Brunt but didn't stop there, adding 2 more straight away, a carbon copy of the first followed by a lofted drive down the ground. From there the Australian duo made their task look easy, Gardner becoming particularly aggressive with 3 consecutive 4s off Capsey and 3 more off Ecclestone's 9th over to move ahead of Sutherland. Earlier, Kim Garth, who replaced fellow seamer Darkie Brown in the Australian side, and Megan Shutt were wayward with their lines and lengths, and the England openers capitalised. England reached 55 for 0 in 8 overs, which was already their highest power play total of the tournament. But Sutherland's introduction to the attack delivered instant rewards with a wicket maiden as she plucked out Jones, playing inside the line of a perfect ball on the top of off stump, and when Garth closed out the power play with her own maiden to Beaumont, Australia's mid-innings fightback was underway. After a wise Australia review removed Knight, LBW to Sophie Molyneux, King backed up the excellent economy of her player of the match performance against Bangladesh and was rewarded with the wicket of Siver Brunt, lured down the pitch and skewing the ball to Sutherland at mid-off. King extracted prolific turn and bounce, her initial spell coinciding with a period between the 20th and 30th overs in which England added just 26 runs. Australia, by contrast, would rack up 77 for 0 in the same spell of their reply. A cool-headed catch by Vol, playing her first World Cup match, removed Beaumont. Feeling the need to pick up England's tempo, Beaumont took on Sutherland's slower ball as Vol ran backwards at long on, parried the ball back into play as she toppled over the boundary rope, and stepped calmly back inside to complete the catch. It was a back-of-the-hand slower ball from Sutherland which extended Emma Lamb's wretched tournament when she was bowled off her pads for 7, and after struggling for rhythm in her 22 from 48 balls, Sophia Dunkley misread a Gardner delivery, advancing and heaving towards the leg side as the ball spun past the outside edge. Mooney whipped off the bails as she tried in vain to make her ground. Capsey defied her lean run at number 7 with back-to-back fours off Sutherland, taking her past her previous best of 20 for this tournament. But when she was pinned on the pad by Molyneux and Dean chipped Gardner to cover 2 balls later, Australia wrested back control.